What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. And for today's gameplay, I'm bringing you a prankkids versus a mekkknight Sky Striker mashup deck. So let's get on right with the gameplay. For today's game, I am going first, and I start my turn off by activating prankkids place to search for my prankkids combo starter card, which was the Dropsies. Now, when I activated prankkids place, my opponent's side of the field did get highlighted, so this lets me know that my opponent either has Maxi or Ash Blossom. And it turned out that he did have an Ash Blossom in his hand, which he did use to negate my first prankkids graveyard activation. Thankfully, we had a crossout designator in our hand, so I used crossout and my chain link resolves. So crossout negates my opponent's Maxi, so that way my Dropsies in the graveyard still gets activated, and then we keep going on into our combo. Now with this doodle-doo, even if my opponent did have a way to negate this doodle-doo search, we would not care about it. Because as I keep saying to you guys, as long as you start with either Pranks or Panda in your hand, you do not care about the doodle-doo search going through. Because fansies can just send the other card to the graveyard, and you can just use the doodle-doo's tribute to fish that card out from the graveyard, add it into your hand, and go on with your gameplay. Thankfully, none of that happened, so we were able to get the pranks in our hand and send plays to the graveyard, use doodle-doo's tribute, and fish those cards out, and then that allows me to go into 2 doodle-doos over 1, because now I have a card in my hand I can use to banish off of the Roxy's graveyard activation. I do that, end my turn, activate pranks, recycle 3 cards. Now the full reason behind going through 2 doodle-doos is to be able to activate your prankkids pranks at the end of your turn to recycle 3 cards without using up your Miamu and still be able to activate Bow Wow Bark on your opponent's turn. So that's the whole reason behind all that. We did all that, and then on my opponent's draw phase, he draws a card, I activate Bow Wow Bark, tribute itself, target 2 cards I need for the Butler combo to try to add them to my hand. Sadly, my opponent has a Call by the Grave, and he targets the Bow Wow Bark with the Call by the Grave. Now, I have been in high diamond games where people will target either the Dropsies or Lampsies or Fansies that I target off of the Bow Wow Bark in my graveyard through their Call by the Grave. They would not target the Bow Wow Bark. They would target the pieces I need for the Butler combo that I'm trying to add back to my hand with the Call by the Grave. That is a bad move. Never ever do that. Always target the Bow Wow Bark. So my opponent targeted right. Bow Wow Bark does get negated. Resolves, banishes Bow Wow Bark. Negate. So no Butler for us. But off of the prankkids pranks recycle, I believe we drew into a Lampsies, which was really good for us. So now we cannot go into our Butler combo. That's right. But we could still go into Weather Washer to get 2 cards from the graveyard onto the field, immune to destruction through battle for that turn. So we still have a play we could have made, and we have a Nibiru in our hand. That means if my opponent pushes past 5 specials, we will be able to nib him. Granted, we will not be able to go into Weather Washer if he does that, but it's okay. We will be able to completely stop our opponent's combo from happening and then kill him maybe next turn as well. So let's see what kind of deck our opponent is playing. With this, I was so glad this happened this game. You guys see, I always fan out my cards. I specifically fan out my cards in a way that no 2 cards stack on top of each other, just to play around mekkknights. Now this happened this game, which was fortunate. This was a learning experience. Like it proved that what I'm doing is not a wasted thing. It still somehow comes in handy sometimes, and it came in handy this game. So my opponent is playing mekkknights. He sets down a card so that 2 cards are stacked in a column, so in the middle he could summon out a mekkknight. Now this was the purple. Now purple will tribute itself, banish itself to draw another mekkknight, which was the blue, I believe. Blue comes on the field, which was searching for another mekkknight, which was, it searches for a card, right? Which was the Girsu. Girsu sends a World Legacy card in the graveyard, and then he goes into Lib. This was pretty new to me. Mekk Knight, World Legacy, into, you guys will see Sky Striker search spell cards. So he activates the lib, sets down a World Legacy trap card, activates Engage, searches for one card which was Hornets, then he'll activate Hornets, get a token on the field, and using lib plus the token, he goes into Nightmare. Nightmare will bounce, Lib. Lib will bounce my Panda, which I allowed to go through. He did not activate Nightmare to discard a card to bounce, he activated Lib from the graveyard to bounce my Panda. Now, I had a choice to activate Panda right there to go into Weather Washer, but I decided, why do that when I could just nib my opponent? He was bouncing my card anyways. I was okay with it. I still had a combo starter card in my hand for my next turn. I had a Kaiju in case he even goes further, pushes past my nib. I was okay with all that. So I decided, let him bounce my Panda, we will just nib him. Because my opponent did push past 5 specials. So I nib him, give him a token, he sets down a card, ends his turn. And with this draw phase, we draw into another Kaiju. Now, what does this mean? This means that since I have 2 Kaijus in my hand, I could give a Kaiju to my opponent and give a Kaiju to myself. That means I have instant access to access code. My combo with my prankkids will give me materials on the field for link 3, and then Kaiju will be the link 4 into access code. And then access code plus nib will be 8,300 damage in the field, which will easily kill my opponent, who will be at 7,000 because Lamses will burn him for 5. And after that, I could start popping his back row with access code and kill him outright. So let's see what we do. Normal out my Lamses, go into my combo. Meowmoo, activate Lamses from the graveyard, chain block with Prank his place. Because he does have monsters on the field, it resolves, Prank his place, and then burn for 5, special out Dropsies. Then go into our Doodle-Doo. Doodle-Doo, activate Dropsies in the graveyard, chain block with Doodle-Doo, and my opponent activates the trap card, the World Legacy's Secret, to special out a monster on the field from the graveyard, which was the blue. Blue in defense, this will negate my Doodle-Doo search. So it activates, targets Doodle-Doo, negates Doodle-Doo. Get my fancies on the field. Now, right here, I Kaiju my opponent's blue, and then give myself a Kaiju. I'm pretty sure at this point my opponent knows what's about to happen, because he will just outright scoop. So you guys will see, as soon as he sees the Nightmare on the field, my opponent is going to end up scooping once I bounce the card that was face down on the field. And that's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily pranking video uploads, and if you guys are interested in all of the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpvduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself, so you guys can check it out. This is JPVDuel signing off for today. See you guys in the next video. Peace!